To Out of the Blue from the Block M Podcast Network, part of the Fan First Sports Network. This podcast will do everything for you, but adjust your britches for you. I'm Jared Stormer of the Block M Podcast Network and MazenBrew.com. With me, as always, is Andy Bailey, my hetero life mate. Andy Bailey, after a particularly bad hangover, I will often wheel his lifeless body outside because he seems to like the warmth. How the hell you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. We know ball. We certainly don't know technology that well.
No, we both work in tech and we're just like apes around the monolith trying to get the live stream going, but we know how to do it now.
Yes.
So shouldn't run into this issue next time. Appreciate those of you, the two of you that were waiting for this live stream, but we got it up and running now. Hopefully some folks will be able to join, but look, bear with us. You know, we're not professionals at this sort of thing. What we are professional at is knowing ball.
Exactly. So I'm really excited to get in this conversation with you, and kind of like the football team, it's going to be a get right podcast for us.
This is going to be a get right podcast. Not that our last podcast, nothing wrong with it. I think we had some measured takes about Oklahoma. I think we talked some people off of the ledge, myself included. Feel like we're in a good place coming into a get right game. You're absolutely right. We're going to talk about Central Michigan a lot in this podcast and what we expect, what we hope to see, some superlatives in there. But first, let us touch the banner. Got to start here, brother. Jonathan James McCarthy saved my week of football. I have some weird feelings about that because he's on the Vikings, and I was just openly rooting for them because I was openly rooting for him. Really, like, ideally, he puts up 45 points a game and they still lose. But I think they're going to be pretty good. And, oh, man, the haters getting their takes off early on JJ. They were having a great time until they weren't, because anyone who watches JJ McCarthy knows you don't count the man out.
No, I was nervous. I was watching early, and I was like, "Oh, this doesn't look good at all. This looks rough." And like I turned off TV, set my phone down for a little bit. I checked the score, and all of a sudden they were ahead, and I was like, "Wait, what is this?" And I was able to tune back in and catch the final drive and the touchdown on that closed zone read. JJ doing what JJ does, man. It was awesome to see, and it just really personified the kind of like character and player he is.
Yeah, man. And watching all the Vikings fans fall in love with this guy, they're like, oh, he's a gamer. He's built different. We're just like, we know.
We know.
We know. We've been saying it. We've been saying it for 10 damn years. Ain't we been saying it? And yet it was still great to see again. And wasn't surprising. He was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
You're
In the
damn
past
right.
45 years, only two quarterbacks have overcome a double-digit deficit in the fourth quarter of their NFL debut and won. JJ McCarthy and Steve Young. So confirmed JJ McCarthy is the next Steve Young. Not a bad comp.
Good company to be with.
Yeah, man. It was so fun. And if the Lions are going to be weapons grade ass this year, I don't think they will be that bad. But I'm going to be tuning into some JJ. I can tell you that much. Like I said, it saved football for me last weekend.
It sucks so much he's in our division. I hate it.
I know. Dude, why didn't the Broncos freaking move up and get him? That would have been so much easier. Like, he's out here in Denver with me, AFC versus NFC, or at least out of the division. I guess it could be worse. Like, he could be with the Bears. He could be with, like,
Packers
I don't know.
Worse.
Packers is worse. Like, of the teams in the division, I hate the Vikings the least. I'll say that, whatever that's worth, which isn't much, but yeah. So really excited to continue watching him. Just gives us one more thing to root for. And it's so much different than watching, like, I'm going to tune in, see if I can catch a Colston Loveland catch or something. Like, he's touching the ball every time. So you can actually like tune in, lock in, and enjoy yourself a Vikings watch, as much as I want to throw up saying that. But that's where we're at, man. Congrats to him. He's currently at the hospital expecting his first child. So congratulations to
good week for
his
him.
Partner on that. Not a bad week for Jonathan James. God, I miss him. He'll always be my quarterback. I miss him daily. Yep. Keep it pushing here. All signs pointing to Rod Moore returning. The good news just keeps on coming. We'll see about the rest of the guys. Heard some positive reports on everybody other than the guys that are out for the year. So we might see Rod Moore this year. Could be the return of Klein. I expect Zeke Berry to come out and play, unless they're like, we don't need Zeke Berry for the Chippewas, which we'll get into it. You don't. But nonetheless, it'd be good to see those guys getting back.
Temper your expectations for Rod Moore in this game. Like, first game in 18 months, like the fact that he's out there is already a massive win.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Can't wait to see God once again on the field. We will be wrapped in his warm embrace, seeing this defense at full strength or close to full strength. Should have that for Nebraska, if nothing else. So looking forward to that as we kick off against Central Michigan at noon ET, as the Lord intended, on Saturday in the Big House, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, which is just even better. Roll out of bed, make some coffee, maybe get some breakfast in there, and then it's straight to football. It gets no better, as the Lord intended. We've got Central Michigan this week. They are 1-1 after beating San Jose State and then lost to Pitt last week 45-17 in a game where they used 3 quarterbacks. You might need all 3 coming against Michigan. Hopefully, I'm hoping that this defensive line shows out. But what's your 30,000 foot view of this contest, sir?
Central Michigan's not very good. Let's keep it a buck. This is not a very good team right now. They're in a complete rebuilding mode, and it presents a lot of things that Michigan has struggled with against Oklahoma, like quarterback run, running the football against stack boxes, opportunities to improve against an inferior opponent.
I'm with you there. Like we mentioned, 3 different quarterbacks might see all 3. Joe Labus, I think I'm saying that correctly, is likely going to get the first go of it. He's attempted the most passes there, but then you'll also see Jaden Glasser and Angel Flores. Flores, the more running of the quarterbacks, but he's only run for 48 yards on the season. It's not exactly Lamar Jackson back there. So they'll mix it in with some quarterback runs. Labus has run a couple of times as well, but 3 quarterbacks, to me, that is like, I don't know. It's like the sitcoms where you bring 2 dates to the dance. Like, this isn't going to end well, brother. Like, this isn't going to end well.
They're a run first, run second, run third type of team. I was shocked at this statistic I found. They won the time of possession against Pitt nearly 37-23, despite losing 45-17. So they are possess the football for as long as possible, run it up as many gaps as they can, do whatever they just try to do on the ground because it's not coming through the air. No quarterbacks thrown for more than 89 yards in either of the 2 games. And this offensive line was atrocious against Pitt. Gave up 11 TFLs, 4 sacks. This team is number 111 nationally in TFLs allowed through 2 weeks.
Oh boy, that sounds like a get right game to me. They have 1 passing touchdown on the season, slightly eclipsed by their 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. This is not an offensive juggernaut here in Central Michigan.
I do want to make 2 key points though, and they kind of pertain to where Michigan can get better. Their 2 running backs, they're co-led by Nare Biggins and Trey Cornish. They each have 112 rushing yards. Cornish averages 4.5 yards after contact. It's very impressive. So like for a Michigan team that's kind of been struggling to tackle a little bit these first 2 weeks, that should be a heavy emphasis. And point number 2, their number 1 receiving weapon is DeCorian Temple, tight end, very valuable. And kind of like, I don't know, there's similarities to the New Mexico tight end they use in a bunch of different ways. But Tommy McIntosh, the wide receiver, averages 19.5 yards a reception. If Michigan is going to commit to shutting down the run and leave their corners on islands, they cannot fall asleep, because that's how you get hit with a big play and this team gets points on the board in an easy way. So keeping the corners just awake and engaged in this game is going to be important. Otherwise, you might end up looking silly.
Great points, all. Shout out to everyone in the chats, seeing Josh and Titeri and some of our boys in there. Ooh, look at that little chat overlay going on too. Kings all. Great to see you all on our first live stream. Something we'll try and do a little bit more on these Thursday ones, but great call there. You can't get caught sleeping against anyone on this schedule. This might be really pushing that rule, because I think we could probably play our second stringers and win this one. I mean, you might be able to get Jake Garcia out there and still find a way to get a win on this one. Pump the brakes there, buddy.
Pump the brakes on that one.
This is a get right game in all senses of the word. Let's start with some superlatives. We're going to end with this. I think we should start with this.
Okay.
What do you need to see in this game to feel confident moving forward? What is something that you're just like, has to see it in this game? I saw Rayshawn Benny in the comments. That's a good call out as well. I would like to see Rayshawn Benny dominate in this one. He certainly should.
Do you want offense or defense?
Whatever you want, brother. We'll do one of each.
I want to see Bryce Underwood read RPOs correctly.
That's a great call out.
Very, very simple there. I mean, there was a misleading stat going around, like, X number of his throws were screens in the first half. It's like, yeah, because he was choosing not to run. Like most of them had read tags on them and he was doing it differently. Now, I would like to see some RPOs a little different than just run the ball and screen, like maybe run the ball in a quick hitch, run the ball in a quick slant, which we're going to talk about this Chippewa's defense in a few minutes. Horrible at tackling. I believe there's 4 players on this team that have played over 40 snaps and miss over 30% of their tackles. For reference, that's like what Mason Curtis was in that first game. But they have 4 guys doing that consistently. So getting the ball out in space is going to be tested in these RPOs. So I want to see Underwood start to read those correctly.
A whole team of Channing Striblings. Let's see how it pans out for him there. Yeah, on offense, I need to see offensive line push. You hit it, Titirian, there, man. That's exactly what I need to see. Whether it's Guaranara sauce in there or whether it's Al Hadi, I'm guessing it's Guaranara, being as how Al Hadi limped off the field like that. Haven't heard any updates on that one, but this offensive line needs to dominate lesser foes if they're going to have any chance of going up against the Ohio States and the USCs of the world and getting some actual push. So getting some push in this game, running between the tackles. I think all three of our big runs have been to the outside. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Has
Well,
any of those been inside?
the most recent one was technically drawn up inside. He hit it backside, but
Then
it
he
was a
bounced
counter.
it back out. Yeah.
I think there's going to be several different combinations of offensive line in this game as they work for chemistry. And the one I'm the most fascinated in, just assuming Gio El Hadi is out, is Blake Frazier at left, and then Evan Link at left guard, Crippen, Guaranara, Sprague. That's the one I really want to see. I'm
Okay.
just trying to get the best five out there.
We should definitely be getting our best five out there. And I understand certain people are better at left, better at right, but I don't think we quite have the luxury to be thinking like that right now. We need to figure out who our best five are, and then as the season progresses, get them more comfortable in said position, whatever that might be. So I like where your head's at there. What do you need to see on defense?
I need to see better communication. And Josh hit it here in the chat a little bit. Rod Moore helping out, but I need to see it at all three levels, especially in run fits, like against some of the counter runs against Mateer. Linebackers were doing the job of the defensive end. Defensive end was doing the job of somebody else. And it was just miscommunicated. And it was like, we should not be having that. Like, I get it's early and there's a little bit of confusion against the gap schemes with the moving pieces. They got to get that sorted out. Like, we just can't be getting gashed with quarterback runs because we're going to see a ton in this game with three different quarterbacks with three different running styles. So I want to see the communication get better across the board.
At the risk of repeating myself and just saying I need to see push on the defensive line here, which we do, I'll mix it up and say I need to see some secondary depth. Could have Shamari Earls in this game. Very excited to see what he can bring. Again, temper your expectations coming back off an injury for a very true freshman. That is a young man getting his first reps, even though it is Central Michigan. I'd be surprised if he just went out there and lit it up, but see some secondary depth start to emerge. Could be a get right game for JoJo Edmonds. We're going to need you throughout this season, brother. Like, I need to see him step up there. Who do you need to see have a good game without giving away your player of the game pick?
Ernest Hausman in coverage. I at least just want to see it with the safeties as well. Like, I want to see the communication because they haven't just with teams going across the middle, the communication with the linebacker and the safeties just hasn't been intact. Hausman hasn't been playing it high to low. So I wonder if that's on the safeties actually, and they should be picking up that person and playing a little bit closer, or if Hausman's just wrong. So I want to see that get cleaned up over the middle. Otherwise, teams like Ohio State or just these more advanced passing offenses are going to exploit us over the middle again and again on seam balls and crossing routes.
Yeah, I'll hit Rayshon Benny one more time because the expectations are so high. Like, I'm going to keep hammering that home. Like, you got to be better, brother. Last superlative here. Non-Bryce Underwood freshman, most important for the rest of the season that you'd like to see in this game?
Nate Marshall.
That's
with the pass rush
spicy.
not getting there yet. I want to see if he can start taking some steps, whether it's in third down, like NASCAR packages, or just in other aspects of the game, because I think he's going to be valuable this season, but even more valuable moving forward.
He's huge for next year. Yeah, it's way too early to start talking about that, but he is massive piece for next year. He'll be expected to start probably, depending on what we do with transfers. I'll say it's the tandem of Earls and Sanders. Clearly, they're guys that we're expecting to play this year. I mean, we got Sanders out there already. His red shirt is probably gone, and we're likely going to see Shamari Earls in this. I think they need to not only prep them for next year, but need them for this year to get that depth. So I'm with you there. All right, let's go into some of the specifics here. The Central Michigan offense, we mentioned the multiple quarterbacks, mentioned that they're going to run. You've already kind of talked about the tight end weapon, and there are only 2 rushing touchdowns in the year, only 1 passing touchdown. Anything else on this offense that you think we could touch on here?
No, it's just really not about getting out over your skis, like just kind of honing in on the fundamentals, especially like the missed tackles, the missed opportunities that presented themselves against Oklahoma, like the blown sack, the dropped interception, and just clean those up.
Clean that stuff up. Yeah, I mean, I anticipate we'll get some turnovers here. We're forcing them early on in the season. That's a good sign. The fact that we're getting those turnovers, let's keep that going as well. I'm selfish. I would very much like to see like a low scoring affair. Michigan is not one of the best scoring defenses right now. I mean, Oklahoma is going to skew that a little bit. And you can't do the extrapolation game. But I just want a clean game with like very few points given up. I think this could be a game to build some confidence in the defense. Like, yo, we shut this team out. And then just even if it is Central Michigan, to carry that moving forward, like we can shut a team out. We can be a dominant defense like years past.
I don't care as much about the shutout, but I do care about the dominance until like we get deep in the bench, because Wink does
Same
not
thing.
care about getting the shutout. He does not care about finishing that stuff out, like in turn as compared to getting guys experience. So like I would rather be getting them experience. If that costs giving up like a garbage time touchdown, I really don't care too much about that.
I don't care either. I guess I should say a shutout with the starters. And then if they
Yeah.
score garbage time, who gives a damn? Like, whatever. We'll know that it was a shutout in spirit. So let's get over to the Central Michigan defense. Fourth worst passing defense in college football, over 300 yards per game. Not great.
It's such a weird defense, man. So I watched a lot of film on them. For the listeners, don't say I'm not trying to do the work for you. This is a bad defense in a lot of ways. So they run a lot of cover 3. So they bring like 8 to the line of scrimmage. And the design of that is not to give up big plays, but they consistently give up big plays because they are terrible at tackling. Like that's it's very fascinating. They blitz more often than you'd think, but they just very, very rarely get home. They're ranked number 106 in sacks, 132 in pass rush, and they've only had 2 sacks on the season so far. But to make it all even more confounded, this is one of the best rush defenses in the country. No running back has gone over 46 yards against them. And they played Pitt, who has a pair of great running backs.
Yeah, it's bizarre, man. And like that could be a product of them having so many guys up near the line of scrimmage that they don't give up a lot of rushing yards. This is low key a really good game for Bryce Underwood to get right. We know
Yeah.
the blitz is going to be coming for the rest of the year. Be great against a lesser opponent to see how he handles those constant blitzes. And maybe early on, they're not shutting down the run, but they're slowing down the run. And what do you do with that, Bryce Underwood? What does Chip Lindsey do to counter out of that? If, maybe we're struggling to get something going, we know it's available in the pass game. This, like you mentioned, this is a bad passing defense. So it's a great opportunity for Bryce Underwood to get some of that confidence back. Not that he lacks for it, despite what happened last week.
It's going to be a big game for the running backs to get involved out of the backfield. I think Chip Lindsey's really going to want to force this defense to tackle in space because they're so shitty at it. So again, I hope you didn't get too tired of the screens last week, because we're going to see some in this game. And they got to work some things out too. They got to build some momentum in terms of blocking on the perimeter, Samaj Morgan and others catching the ball before making decisions and things like that. So again, this is a good game to practice those concepts that they're going to carry throughout, but also watch for 4 verticals this week. We showed it against New Mexico for the deep shot. I broke it down in the film study. He had Samaj streaking down the middle. 4 verts is coming against the cover 3. Look for the deep ball to finally connect in this game.
Ooh, my favorite play to run in NCAA 2026. Love me some 4 verts. And if it's there, I want to take it. And let's get the communication and let's get some chemistry built with one of these wideouts. Marlon Klein, still game time decision. I would love to see him back in there. But if it's a question of letting that ankle get all the way right for Nebraska, I would say sit it out, build some chemistry. Still working on that with McCulley. It was not there against Oklahoma. I would say it's not really there with Samaj. They're just running like designed plays to get Samaj the ball at the line or behind the line. So Samaj Morgan, clearly an emphasis in here. Do you think they open the game again with another quick hitter to Samaj Morgan? It's back-to-back games on offense.
We'll see. I hope it's an easy throw, to be honest. I would love to see, not to get too technical, like a 3-by-1 formation and get McCulley isolated in that one spot and just run a quick slant. Like such an easy throw. And when they're playing cover 3, you're going to have the leverage to the inside. Used to be the joke with like Mike McDonald at Michigan, like, quick slant, take a drink. It's going to be open all game in this one. And if you can isolate him on that side, all he has to do is beat the linebacker. So I think that would be an easy one. Take that step in building chemistry with another receiver as well.
Yeah, I think we threw across the middle one time against Oklahoma, so didn't see a lot of that. Would be nice to see him get something going across the middle of the field, which for some quarterbacks, like that's easier. Like JJ against the Bears, everything that they opened up with was across the middle because he likes to use that velocity to kind of drive the ball in. So it was interesting. I understand they were packing the center of the middle of the field there, and you're more likely for a turnover throwing the ball over the middle, but maybe allow Bryce Underwood to use that velocity, get some stuff going across the middle, slant. Great call out there as well.
This is the game to do it. And
Little
Tyrion,
sluggo.
I love a sluggo. Like, and again, if you hit that quick slant play one, it's going to open up. It's going to invite people to jump those routes and bite even harder on that. And again, over the middle of the field is where you see a lot of young quarterbacks avoid because there's interceptions, turnovers, more players in there at different levels. But there's so many hidden yards there. And against an opponent like Central Michigan, it's a great game to get some experience.
They do have a really good linebacker, Jordan Kwiatkowski, three-year
the
starter, strong player, leads the team in tackles, has an interception. But you were saying on the last pod you would like to see Bryce Underwood throw an interception just to let you know what your limits are and get it out of the way. It's coming. We know an interception's coming.
I referenced the anecdote from Brian Kelly to like mentoring Jaden Daniels at LSU for it. And I just feel like to find your limit, you have to test your boundaries. And if you do it in a game like this, there's not many consequences. Like, look at JJ McCarthy, for example. He threw 3 interceptions against Bowling Green in 2023. His worst game as a Michigan Wolverine. But now look at him. Look how he handles adversity now. There was an anecdote from Aaron Jones at the Vikings game this past week that after that pick 6, they're in the huddle, and JJ looks at everybody and says, "Is there any place you'd rather be?" That's the kind of confidence it breeds. So this is the game for Underwood to really just test the arm a little bit, take some chances, throw an interception, just get that off your shoulders. You're at home, safe environment, inferior opponent. Take some risks in this one.
Also, quick side note, and I can't stop ever talking about JJ McCarthy. The amount of Harbaugh that's rubbed off on him, and now it's just like we're seeing the next Harbaugh.
So
you know, like his quote, I would rather be a gardener or a warrior in a garden,
a gardener in a war.
Just like, oh, my britches. And
it's so good.
I love it, man. We miss you, Jim. Anything else about attacking this defense? Anything else that maybe we missed here?
Be patient. I think we could see this team a little stuck in the mud against the defense for the first few minutes. Like it's going to happen. The Pittsburgh game didn't really get away towards later in the game. So just be with it for a little bit. Like again, the offense is going to have to shake off some rust. I don't know what the offensive line reshuffling is going to look like, who's going to be available in terms of pass catchers. So like it could take a few minutes for them to get their feet underneath them. I could see a quick 3 and out and fans online just raging and just being so furious with what's happening, but give it time. Like I think it's going to stick, and I really think they're going to have a lot of success.
All right, let's go to special teams here. I have one very insightful take. I've done the work. I've ground it down to a pulp here. Don't F it up. That's my special teams advice to Michigan. Like, don't make mistakes in the third phase of the game. If Zavada like misses another field goal from within 30, you might actually see me start to worry about our boy Dragon Ball Z. But just no turnovers on special teams, for the love of God.
We're getting to our keys to the game later, and I'll touch on I want a little bit more in this one, but in terms of Central Michigan special teams, Declan Dooley is their punter, and brother, he is a dog. He has 3 punts inside the 20 this year with a long of 71.
Brother, what is it? What does it sound like Declan Dooley does for a living? Like, I feel like he's coordinating art heists. Yeah, I was like, that's a cartoon villain.
Yeah,
Declan Dooley.
Declan
from
Dooley.
the South. Yeah. But dude, the creep can punt. He's certainly better than Hudson Hollenbach, although I think you and I are better than Hudson Hollenbach after what I saw last week.
I don't know what we have to do to get a really good punter again. Like, I understand Brad Robbins's don't grow on trees, nor does his mustache, but like, just so we'll get into special teams.
Yeah, Brad Robbins looks like he should be named Declan Dooley. He
looks like he runs like a railroad tycoon or something.
Yeah, turn of the century railroad tycoon. Yeah, him and JP Morgan were in financing conversations together, like turn of the century. Let's get to the keys of the game, brother. Offense, go for it.
All right, so we talked about this a little bit, but to just stick to my key, reestablish Underwood's momentum. Expect Central Michigan to blitz coming off the bus in this one, and expect Chip Lindsey to try to set him up for success. Like, this is the game to find the deep ball, to take some shots over the middle of the field, get your guys out in space, work the kinks out in the offense, blocking on the perimeter, things like that. But to me, it all starts with Underwood and keeping his confidence high before going to Nebraska.
It's a great call out, and a great call out about Nebraska. I mean, it's going to be hard not to start looking ahead for this one and be like, we're going back on the road, another tough environment. Not an Oklahoma level defense, but a good defense with Nebraska. So great test coming out of this one. So this is like it for learning experiences. And we don't have a lot of gimmies on the schedule. You got to really take advantage of them, and every snap is time on task and improve where you can. Going to that, it's got to be the offensive line continuing to improve. I think Crippen is like a finished product. I think that's just what we're going to get. But for some of these other guys, like getting settled in, Link, Sprague, Frazier, Norton, whoever it might be there, Garnara, get him some time on task. Would like to see that. So get not only the communication, get our best 5 on the board, and like dominate lesser opponents. Like Greg Crippen, if you can't dominate Central Michigan, like I don't know, man, we just might not have a center.
We just need him to be Andrew Vastardis. That's all we need him to be. Like, you can get overwhelmed by the bigger ones, but you got to hold up and you got to dominate these. These are the games you got to take over. Next key for me is execute. The scheme was really sound last week when I went back over the film, but there was enough meat left on the bone to satisfy a Sunday barbecue at Brett Bielema's. The Wolverines can execute to their standard. It won't matter what Central Michigan does. They just have to execute at the right level, blocking on the perimeter, small details, no penalties. Don't beat yourself, and they should like just bulldoze this team.
I'm with you there. How about some personnel? Let's get Jordan Marshall going, and let's get the Marshall brothers going, Jordan and Zach, particularly if Marlon Klein can't be in this and if Hogan Hansen is still coming back from injury. We need some depth at tight end. So let's get some reps in there. Jordan Marshall, I trust, but I just would like to see him. Coming. But for Hansen and for Zach Marshall, they need some time on task. They need reps. So get them out there, and maybe it's better to sit Marlon Klein for this one. The more we kind of talk this out.
Again, I think this is a rest game for a lot of Michigan starters, in my opinion, like Gio, Zeke, maybe even TJ Metcalf. He was banged up, Marlon Klein. But I do expect Rod Moore and others to just try to get their feet underneath them. Maybe like I wonder if Caleb Anderson, I wonder what his status is as well.
I'd like to see him. Yeah.
That's another depth piece I'm concerned about. But my last one I've already touched about, the key of the game. I want Bryce Underwood to test his limits and throw an interception if need be.
Fine with it. It's a weird take, but you've explained it well, and I'm there with you on that one. Let's get to the defense, keys to the game here. I'll start it off. It's got to be the defensive line for me. I know I've harped on it. I harped on it all last week. I've already brought it up here. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's supposed to be the identity of this team. It's been the identity of the majority of these Michigan teams. I know people look at the national championship team and they might think JJ and Blake Corum was the identity. In my opinion, it was the defense and it was the defensive line. I think that is the best unit on the best Michigan teams. Hasn't been the best unit thus far. Not sure what the best unit overall has been on this team, not special teams. Because I mean, without Klein last week, probably running backs. Yeah, probably the best unit's been running backs. So I need to see this defensive line dominate. I need to see penetration. I need to see some depth coming out there. Again, Derek Moore, need to see him get right, but we should dominate this team, and I need to see it.
To that point, I want him to take away the QB run. Oklahoma rushed for 138 yards last week, but only 65 of that came from backs. Like, I want to see these quarterbacks just stifled in this game. There was a stat from Central Michigan last week. It was like, I forget, like one of the quarterbacks or something. Yeah, here it was. Their running back last week rushed for 40 yards on 41 attempts. Or no, it might have been the whole team rushed for 40 yards on 41 attempts. It's honestly impressive. So like in this one, mad. Yeah, like just completely dominate, start with the quarterback, take him out of the game. I mean, just eliminate him from the equation. If this team is forced to pass, they stand no chance.
I almost want to bang the table. I probably should have said this first. Third downs. And now it is going to not look anything like Oklahoma did. There is no John Mateer here. They're playing 3 quarterbacks. And if you added all 3 of them up in a lab, it's still not John Mateer. So I don't think it'll be as big of a problem. But we need to show like Raiola can do some stuff. We'll talk about our thoughts on Raiola. I have some. Let's leave it there. But we need to be able to get off the field on third down. And these quarterbacks do like to scramble a little bit. So I'm with you on your first take there, but particularly on third downs, get off the field.
I think the key to that is get them in the third and longs. I'd really like to see them. I don't like putting a number on it, but like under 30% in this game, I think is a good goal for the defense. My last one is finish sacks, finish tackles, finish interceptions. Like, we're not putting a lot of the last loss on the defense, but there were a lot of moments where they just could have taken over in the game. And it's like, if they play up to their potential by like Jair Hill capitalizing on the interception, Brandon Hillman wrapping up on a blitz from the outside for the sack, little things like that start to add up. And that's what takes the defense from good to great.
Great takes all. Special teams, any keys to the game? I already said mine. Don't F it up.
It's time for a big play. All right. blocked punt, field goal, big return. Enough of the missionary position, low expectations. Give us something spicy. Just give us something spicy to cling to be like, oh, you know what? JB Brown does know how to coach a little bit. I don't know if I'm
Mm-mm,
going to say that regardless, but
I'll
like
never
just
say
show
that.
me something. Give me evidence of the contrary. That's all I ask in this game.
Mm. The only JB I accept is JB Bickerstaff, and JB Brown. I don't care for. If there's a big return, I'm gonna go donate my sperm to a sperm bank because it's time for me to have a son. Like I will be so excited. I will be so elated. It'll be time to put a son into this world. I'd be very surprised if we have a big return. I love that you put field goal as a big play because like
Anything.
I would hope that we hit a field goal in this game. Dom Zavada, you haven't earned our ire yet.
No.
But yeah, I'd like to see him bang home a 55-yarder to just feel warm and fuzzy about special teams once more.
Just something. We haven't had a punt return for a touchdown since 22. We haven't had a kick return since 21. Like, it's time for something.
22 and 21. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I think we blocked a punt against Maryland in 23, and Derek Moore scoop and scored it. I think that's off the top of my head. I think that's right. So it's time for another.
I was there.
You were there in
Wait,
22.
No, I was 22. No, I just had to do the
I
math.
love that I know your life better than you do.
I'm not keeping track. I'm just living it. Players of the game and predictions, brother. I'll let you go first.
All right, players of the game, Bryce Underwood and Rod Moore. Bryce Underwood just getting his feet back underneath him, opening up the passing offense a little bit. Still doubt you're not going to see him run that much in this game, but just get his rhythm back, get his confidence up, get it back where it needs to be. I really liked his poise against Nebraska, like for the most part, but like just get back in within yourself. You're going to be okay. You're in friendly confines. Get everything going in the right direction again before going out west. And Rod Moore. Rod Moore's coming back. I don't care about what anybody else does. If Rod Moore plays on Saturday, he is defensive player of the game for me. 18 months, man. That is such a long time to be away from football. He's got to get his confidence back. This is more like a glorified practice for him. He's probably going to have some missed tackles, some miscues, but his brain's going to be as sharp as ever, and he is going to help lift everybody up on that defense play better.
Future coach Rod Moore,
yes.
God Moore, as we call him around here. Cannot wait. It'll be so nice to see him back there. I hope he gets like a standing O when he gets out there. He's well-deserved. National champion Rod Moore. For me on offense, I want to get it right this week. So I think I'm going to go Justice Haynes on offense. I think he's been the offensive player so far of the team through a couple games here, and I expect him to be I expect him to get another one again, whether it's another 60-yarder or whether it's a little bit more tempered and a little bit here, a little bit there. I would almost rather see that, some stuff like up the middle, and see him get some 7-yarders, some 9-yarders in there. I'm not mad about a 60-yarder, but
our whole running game is based off of like just on a crutch of 3 big plays. Like I would just want to see consistent 5 yards. I would be ecstatic with that in this one.
No, there's nothing sexier than a 7-yard run. I love it.
You know what's better than a 7-yard run? 8.
we could do this all day, and I don't disagree. So I'll go Justice for my offense, and on defense, Jayshon Barham. I think he's been the defensive player of the team thus far. So I'm going with the guys that have been doing it through 2 weeks. I'll go Jayshon Barham. So far, having a really good season and looking like an absolute stud out there. Like he's looking like he's going to have a year, and I want to see him just continue that. And obviously, I'd like I see Tyrion in there talking about some guys that need some confidence. I agree. Like it would be wonderful if this was the Rayshawn Benny game, but I'm going to go with Barham here because I've seen it. My score prediction here, I think Michigan rolls in this one. I got it 42-7. I would love to see us get up into the 40s.
Yeah, it's very similar. I had it 38-6. I think they cover without a doubt. I believe the line is floating around 27.5. I feel very, very confident in that. I think the team gets up big before Central Michigan scores. So I really think this is like everything is going in the right direction for this team. I think this is by far the easiest game on the schedule this season, the way everything is shaken out, what we know about New Mexico now and things like that. So I think this is a get right game. This is where we get the momentum rolling in the next week. And we should have mentioned maybe coach of the game, Biff Poggi, if he comes out with no sleeves.
I was just going to mention it. I was going to say, if he wears sleeves, I'm turning off the broadcast.
I'm going to be so upset. I need the guns out. Like, I love all the clips going around with like the deep V and the sleeves cut off, like he did it himself.
How much respect would you have if he's just like burning a heater? He has a bush light on the sideline. He's got like a visor on, sleeves are off. Like someone's just grilling on the side. It's like, look, mom and dad are away. We're going to enjoy ourselves. And that's 50-0. You're just like, this is the greatest game I've ever watched.
It might be time for Sharona to go back and coach the O-line some more, and that's it.
this is a Biff Poggi team now. I'm
This
sorry,
man's
sir.
packing a dip and like grilling out. I'm going to be so happy.
Just grill it out on the sidelines. They're like, you can't do that. It's like, show me in the bylaws where I can't grill some ribs. You show me. Any other thoughts on the Central Michigan game, man? It's a bummer. We still have Sharon Moore there now coaching, but what is it, midnight before game day? He has to
midnight tomorrow. Yeah. So he's there all day tomorrow. Kicks in midnight and then ends midnight Saturday after Nebraska.
Very weird, but all things considered, we got out of there with a slap on the wrist. So not going to be mad about it. Let's look around the country, man. A little better slate this week than last week. Although last week still had some fun games. That USF Florida game kind of came in and saved the slate. Let's start at the top. Clemson at Georgia Tech. Clemson only favored by a field goal in this. What does Vegas know?
I know, and Haynes King, I believe, is questionable because he didn't play last week against Gardner Webb, but there's a lot of talk out there that it was just more precautionary. I know Brent Key was going to get this Georgia Tech team up. Just look at the Georgia game last year, but I like Clemson to get their mojo back a little bit and start trying to play like the team we thought they were going to be all year.
Yes, I'm with you, and I would also take Clemson to cover there. So I'm taking Clemson plus the cover. It's not a big cover. They got to win by a field goal to cover. I might bet that. There might be a parlay in my life coming in. The only game I've bet so far was Texas over Ohio State, so we're off to a great start. Wisconsin at number 19, Alabama. Much bigger spread. This is looking like a 4-score spread currently.
No Billy Edwards either for Wisconsin.
Oof. Tough scene. This could be ugly.
Yeah, pound the money line for Alabama. I think they're going to destroy Wisconsin, and it's starting to get to that point. Like, is Luke Fickell going to be the coach when they play Michigan?
Ooh, the first coach fired in the Big Ten. You're leaning Fickell.
Things are heating up, man. Like, I know Braun's making his case at Northwestern, but that's a little more patient, in Evanston. I don't know about Fickell, man. Like, if they get smoked in this one and just embarrassed, like it's going to be tough. And I think it's in Tuscaloosa. I think they're going to get killed.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Vegas thinks too. Wisconsin, very patient fan base because you haven't heard like a lot of saber rattling, like get him out of here. If they get absolutely waxed by Alabama, I think it'll start to get a little bit louder. And so we were talking about this in the offseason that we're like, what is going on with this team? And like, why is Luke Fickell getting extensions when he just has not lived up to it? The performance has been subpar, zero identity. And we'll see. Alabama also needs to kind of get right. They had an FCS team last week, so they looked a little bit better. But going up against another Power 4 team, like Alabama also needs this one. So I think they'll be motivated as well. Yeah. Number 6, Georgia at number 12, Tennessee. Georgia favored in this one. How do you see it?
Give me Tennessee. Give me Joey Aguilar.
Ooh.
I know Kirby Smart's undefeated against Tennessee, but I think this is the year they can get it done. Like having the home environment, I'm not like sold on Gunnar Stockton as a passer. Like I know everything's against him, but like it feels like one of those old Michigan, Ohio State days in 2018, 2019. It's like it's got to happen sometime, right? It's got to happen. I feel like this is the year for Tennessee. I feel like they get it done in a tight one, like 1 point.
Rocky Top, tough place to play. Fun, seems like a fun environment. That would be one that if I were gonna go to like a different team's game, I might go check out Rocky Top. 4.5 points, Georgia's favored by. I'll take Georgia in this one, but I also think it's going to be close. I'll take Georgia in a close one. I am not in on Gunnar Stockton. I would agree with you there. I would agree with that take, but I'll buy into the Georgia defense, which also has had moments of looking a little shakier, but there's a lot of talent there. So I'll buy into the Georgia talent starting to round into form. Now ranked number 18, South Florida at number 5, Miami. God, I want South Florida to win this one.
If South Florida wins, are they number 1?
They will have the 2 best wins by a long shot.
And if you count Boise as a ranked win, they'd have 3 ranked wins to start the season.
That's insane stuff from South Florida. Who's their coach right now? I should know
Alex Oglesh, something like that. He's a good
Alex
coach. Golesh, that's what it is. Yeah, good coach, man. I mean, I don't think they're going to have the horses to get it done in this one, but I like the cover because I think the spread's like 17.5.
Man, yeah, he came from Tennessee. Actually, speaking of Tennessee, there, yeah, I like the cover. I would love for them to beat Miami. I just
I
don't
hate
like this
Miami.
Miami team. Oh, me too. And we both predicted them to miss the college football playoff and not trending that direction.
Give it
But I don't
time.
like Carson back. That's why we did it. Is like they'll never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. Might be later in the season, but they're going to drop some.
Yeah,
The spread 18.
come
Miami is
on.
favored by. I'll say
Let's go
Miami
Bulls.
wins it, but yeah, go Bulls in that one. I would love it if they can find a way to pull that one off. Florida at number 3 LSU. The good vibes have faded for Florida.
I like Billy Napier too. You and I are some of the few that like the extension last year. Horrible spot. Horrible spot to be in.
Tough get right game.
Yeah. I think LSU wins and covers whatever the spread is. I think Garrett Nussmeier is playing at an insanely smart level right now, and his play is just going to get better.
Yeah, man. And that defense, what's his name? Is it Harold Perkins, the linebacker that was kind of injured? And
And the
then
Weeks brothers, baby. Whit Weeks.
I love it. Stevie Weeks, Mystery Alaska. Anyone? Can
There we
I
go. They have all
interest
three
you in
Weeks
that?
brothers on the LSU roster.
I like that. Yeah, I like LSU in this one. It seems like we're a little more aligned this week, unfortunately. But what you expect me to think Florida bounces back and takes down LSU after getting embarrassed by USF? I mean, it was a close game, but they were favored big against USF. That was a bad loss.
Yeah.
All right, keep it pushing here. Number 16 A&M at 8 Notre Dame. Fun game. Excited for this one.
Notre Dame. Notre Dame's backed into a corner for this one. Like they have to get it done. They could potentially get in at 10-2, but the rest of their schedule is super light compared to these first 2 weeks. So I think they understand the importance. They had the bye week after the first game at Miami. I think they fix some things in this one and get it done.
I want to be different. I'm pulling for CJ Carr. It's just the fact of the matter. Like it's kind of JJ McCarthy thing going on where it's like, well, I hate your team, but I kind of like you. And I liked what I saw from CJ Carr. And I think that they'll get back to running the ball. I think it was only like 15 carries. It was like less than that. I think it was 12 carries for Love in that.
I got to pump those numbers up, man. Jeremiah Love is too good.
Yeah, they absolutely need to pump those numbers up. So I think you're going to see a lot of Jeremiah Love. They're going to lean on what they do. They're going to run the ball and get the win at home. Vandy at South Carolina. Low key, a fun one here. Kind of excited for this.
Does Pavia magic carry over for another year? Does it carry over? I'm fascinated to see this one. I think I know where you're going to go. So I'm just going to be opposite. I'm going to take Clark Lee and Vanderbilt going in there and pulling the upset.
Let's go.
I
love it. 6.5 point dogs. That is more fun. I have to kind of go with South Carolina because I'm buying into the Lenora Sellers hype. And I think he's just uber talented. So I am going to go with South Carolina, but I don't really have much of a feel on this game yet. I'll be tuning in so that I can really get a better feel on both of these teams. And then Minnesota at Cal, a little bit of a mid bowl going on here.
It's crazy too. It's at Cal. I believe kicks like 10:30 at night. Still better than the Michigan State kick next week, which is at 11 p.m.
11 Eastern. Good God. Conference game.
Conference game. Man, Cal's freshman quarterback. Have you watched him yet this season?
I haven't. No, another one I need to tune into to get some data.
Brother, there's something cooking there with Justin Wilcox and these quarterbacks now. After the Mendoza line last year and him going to Indiana and now this new freshman, there's something cooking there. I want to lean Minnesota, but because of the travel going out to Berkeley, give me Cal.
Okay, I'll take Minnesota. I liked what I saw from them. I want to be different here. I feel like this is going to be tight. This is going to be like a 23-21, 24, something like that.
I want to stay up and watch
it'll be tight. I will, brother. I'm out mountain time. I will happily stay up after dark. Anything else from you, brother? I think that's going to be it. Let's see what we got in the comments here. Appreciate everyone in the comments, by the way. We'll do some more of these. We'll let y'all know when we're going live with a little bit more time as well, so you can prep.
Also, as we understand how to work computers and things like that, these will get better. Are you watching the Terrence Crawford fight this weekend?
I am not. No, got some plans this weekend. Got to see about a lady.
It's fair. Canelo by decision for anybody that cares.
I like it. Like where your head's at, sir. I will not be watching. This is football season for me. I am solely, there's just not enough bandwidth for another sport. I mean, we got NBA basketball in 40 days and then, in college basketball and then like 50 days.
It's
so
college hockey in 3 weeks from tomorrow.
Insane. And then I'm all sports. So I got to get it in while I can, while it's just football, because then it will consume my life. I'm not mad about it. If it sounds like I'm mad about it. You're mistaken. I love it. Live for this shit. That's going to do it for us. Again, thanks to everyone that stopped by for the live stream. This podcast will go up on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get it. Great call, Tony. The Tigers will be in the playoffs. 9.5 game lead right now in the division.
Buttoned up.
They're in. That's pretty much buttoned up. Just can't fall apart here. It's going to be a good sports year, my friends. I feel it. Feel it in my plums.
It's going to be good when it starts with Michigan this weekend.
Surely does. We will be back on Tuesday to talk about a win. We will record on Monday. That'll post Monday night late. You'll probably get it Tuesday morning, and then we'll go live again next Thursday. We're with you for the duration. I'm Jared. That's Andy. Thank you to producer Tony. We would like to remind you that wherever you go, go blue.